Parker here with the head coach and athletic director of Pelham High School, Dondrial Pinkins. Coach, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, Coach, take me through the journey. I know you're a former player, coming up in the tutelage of other coaches, and now head coach at Pelham High School. But what was that journey like for you?
Just transitioning from a player to a coach. I started my playing days as a young kid, recreation ball, Pop Warner, up through high school, and earned a scholarship to the University of South Carolina, where I took my role as a quarterback and went and played for Coach Lou Holtz at the University of South Carolina. Played for 4 years, started 2.5 of those years. Transitioned from there, had a few NFL workouts. Didn't pan out, played some arena ball for a year or so. And then an opportunity for me to go back home and coach at my alma mater at Mitchell County High School, which was formerly known as Mitchell Baker. I coached there for 4 years, starting in 2008. Took my first job as a head coach, which a lot of people don't do. And just going in, I was there for 4 years and we grew, turned the program around, ended up winning the region championship in year 3, region runners-up in year 4, and just decided at that point I wanted to kind of step out and branch off and learn from some other coaches. So went to Valdosta for a year, worked under Rance Gillespie, where I coached receivers for a year. After that year, I moved on to Thomasville with Coach Leroy Rouse. Took over as the offensive coordinator, was there for 2 years, and the job came open here at Pelham, and got back in the opportunity to be a head coach, and we've been rolling since.
How difficult was it for you to transition from being a player to a coach?
It's different. As a player, you're taking, the demands and taking the coaching from coaches, but when you step out of that player's role, and now you have to teach a player, the things that you were taught. And a lot of times when I first got into coaching, I assumed that the kids knew the little things. And a lot of times that's not the case. So my first year was a struggle. I think we won 4 games. And at that point, we just kind of slowed everything down. We used to try to practice at the tempo of college practices, and it's not that easy with high school students. So I just had to learn how to go back to my middle school days, go back to my varsity days as a player, and go back and talk to coaches and figure out how to reach young kids who are not at the level that, that the college players were at. So we learned and we just kept pushing, and eventually we got things going in the right direction.
And who do you think is the most influential coach that you've been under, whether that was your time as a player or even as a coach?
Probably my most influential coach was probably Coach Rouse at Thomasville. He had coached under Nick Saban at LSU when he was at LSU. And just some of the things I learned from him. And anytime you take a job, you learn some of the to-dos and some of the things not to do. So I learned a lot of things to do. Some of the things that he did, I kind of tweaked it and put my own little spin to it. Some of the things we did at the University of South Carolina, just implementing things that you learn from different people along the way. And it's worked out well for us.
So now you're the head football coach of a program in South Georgia. What do you think it is about the culture around high school football in South Georgia that makes it unique?
South Georgia breeds football. It's often you ride through neighborhoods and the kids are out playing football. The kids just enjoy it. 100-degree weather, 105, whatever it may be. The kids don't complain. They come out, they enjoy the game, they work. And Pelham has been a great place. I've been in other places, and the kids really do love the game of football. We have great kids. They're doing the things right on and off the field, and that's just one of the things I appreciate here in Pelham.
So last year, region champions, and now this year, from speaking with your players, the goal is not only to repeat region championship, but pushing it up to the state championship level. What do you think it's going to take for your team to improve to that level of success?
Again, I think we got to be all in, and that's our motto, just being all in. I think those guys understand now what it takes to win a region championship, and that our goals are bigger than competing with teams in our region. Ultimately, you have to compete with the teams in the state, and you hear a lot of my guys talking about transitioning to the next level. But when you're talking about transitioning to the next level, you got to not only compete with the guys in the state, but you got to compete with guys nationally. And I think when we get to that level, that they understand that I can't just compete with the guy that backs me up. I got to compete with the guy that wants to go to that same school that I'm trying to get that scholarship from. And when we push and intensify our practices to that level, we'll be a better team.
Speaking of recruiting and getting your players to the next level, what is the biggest thing that you do as a coach to try to help them in their development and get them to a college to play ball?
The biggest thing we do, we have a lot of young coaches. When I say young, I'm 35 right now, but we have a lot of coaches that I feel can still go out to a practice and be hands-on. And when I say hands-on, you've seen it. You have several coaches that you look at them and they don't look like a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Or they can always tell a kid what to do. What we try to do is be more hands-on. We hop in drills. We lift in the weight room. We do different things to motivate those kids and just trying to get them to understand that if you're looking to transition to that next level, those are the things that you got to be able to do. You got to do the little things and be extraordinary. You can't just be an ordinary guy. If you reach one, others will come. So we just try to get them to impress one. We take them to camps. Just go all out and try to catch the eye of one coach. And if you get a Georgia, guess what? Georgia Tech is going to come. If you get an Alabama, Auburn is going to come. So we just try to get them to go out and do what they're capable of doing, and just let them know that people are watching the intangibles, the little things, the going to class, being on time, working out. You never know who's watching.
You're absolutely right. And how would you describe the culture that you're trying to create here around your football program and then the athletic program as a whole?
The culture that we're trying to build here, my motto, I like to say, confident, not cocky. We don't want to be cocky, but I want our guys to be confident that any person we line up against on the field, any coach that we go against, we feel like we've trained harder, we've prepared harder, and that we have a shot to win a ball game.
And so speaking of your role in athletics in general, you are the athletic director, and you hopped in year one as the assistant athletic director and then have taken over that role in full capacity. What is that like? Do you enjoy being the athletic director? Is it a huge source of stress for you, or is it something you enjoy?
It's something I enjoy. I grew up around sports. Coming up, I played football, baseball, did track, basketball, you name it. I did it. So being an athletic director, you kind of have your hands in all the sports. Not only dealing with the coaches, but dealing with the kids. And in a small school system, a lot of the football guys, a lot of the basketball guys play other sports. So you're really dealing with a lot of the same guys and girls. So just being able to, network and be around those throughout the day, it's an amazing feeling. And winning breeds winning. Our girls just won a state championship in basketball, and I think that's not only motivating our football coaches and baseball coaches, but I think it's motivating our football players and other sports to want to go out and be a part of something special like that.
It certainly does, and so winning, breeding the winning, and compounding upon that. And so give me the quick rundown of the highlights of the athletic program from this last year. Obviously, region championship for the football team, state championship from the girls basketball team. Are there other main things that stand out that have happened for Pelham in the past year?
The past year, we started out, our cross-country girls were region runner-up. My softball team had a fairly good year. They improved from last year, which is always a plus.
Yep.
The football team, as you said, won the region championship, advanced to the second round of the playoffs this year, which was the first round the previous year. So we did a little better as football aspect of it. Our girls won the state championship, and now we have our baseball team who's making the playoffs for the first time in, I think, the past 3 years. And our track team is getting ready to advance to sectionals and have a great chance of winning state championship with boys and girls track this year.
So steady improvement across the board, it seems like, which is a great thing. And how important, with you as a coach and you as an athletic director as well, how important is it for you to have a support staff of an athletic trainer in order to look out for the well-being of your student athletes?
It's amazing. And when you look at a school of our size, we have 400 plus students. You usually look at the bigger schools, the Valdosta, the Lyons, the Colquitt counties who have, a full-time trainer. But to have the Marine Center to be here for what they've done for this program is amazing. The kids love them, the coaches love them, their own staff, they're here every day. If a kid has a nick or bruise, we don't have to send them to the doctor. We have people on site that can see them, that can rehab them, get them back, ready to perform in a small amount of time.